Every morning when you wake up, you are standing at the edge of a new world. A world filled with opportunities, challenges, victories, and lessons. What you whisper to yourself in those first few moments sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start the day small, unsure, hesitant, you will walk small. But if you speak to yourself with courage, clarity, and purpose, the world begins to bend in your favor. Today, I want to share with you 12 powerful statements you must tell yourself every morning to awaken your potential and create a life you are proud of. I am grateful for this new day. When you wake up each morning, the first thing you hold in your hands is not your phone, your schedule, or the endless tasks awaiting you. It is the gift of a new day. Gratitude begins with the recognition that this day, unlike yesterday, is untouched, unshaped, and filled with potential. Too often, people wake up carrying the weight of yesterday's failures, yesterday's regrets, or yesterday's frustrations, and they approach the new day burdened by problems that no longer matter. But the truth is, each morning is a blank page, a fresh opportunity to write a chapter that is better than the one before. To say, "I am grateful for this new day," is not just a casual phrase. It is a declaration of your power, a conscious choice to embrace life on your own terms. Gratitude is the lens through which life begins to look abundant rather than scarce, full rather than empty. When you remind yourself of this simple truth, you shift your perspective from a mindset of lack to a mindset of possibility. You realize that no matter what challenges you face, you have been granted another chance to pursue your dreams, to improve yourself, to make a difference in the lives of others, and to move closer to the life you envision. Gratitude in the morning is more than just an acknowledgement of existence. It is the recognition of potential. It is the understanding that every day brings countless moments, opportunities, and people into your life, each offering lessons and growth. It allows you to see beyond your immediate problems and notice the small but extraordinary things that surround you. The warmth of sunlight streaming through your window, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the chance to speak with someone who matters, the ability to take a breath and start again. By telling yourself, "I am grateful for this new day," you are conditioning your mind to search for the positive, to focus on what is present rather than what is missing. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The mundane commute to work, the morning chores, or the repetitive routines suddenly become opportunities to practice patience, mindfulness, and appreciation. Life does not have to be perfect to be fulfilling, and gratitude teaches you that fulfillment begins with recognition of what is already there, no matter how small it seems. When you start your day with gratitude, it also strengthens your resilience. Life will not always go according to plan. Setbacks, disappointments, and hardships are inevitable. But a mind trained in gratitude finds light even in the darkest moments. It does not ignore pain or struggle, but it refuses to let them define the day. Instead, it asks, "What can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow?" Gratitude fuels hope, patience, and determination, and it reminds you that even amidst challenges, you still have the power to choose your attitude, your response, and your path. In this way, saying, "I am grateful for this new day," is not merely a statement, it is an anchor, grounding you in positivity and clarity before you take your first steps. Moreover, gratitude is contagious. When you carry it in your heart, it radiates outward and shapes your interactions with others. It softens relationships, fosters empathy, and allows you to see the value in the people around you. When you are grateful, you naturally treat others with more patience, more respect, and more kindness. Your day begins not just as a gift to yourself, but as a source of inspiration for everyone you encounter. By cultivating a habit of morning gratitude, you create a ripple effect that touches your family, your colleagues, and even strangers, creating a more supportive and positive environment for yourself and those around you. Finally, being grateful for a new day is an act of courage. It is the deliberate choice to rise above fear, doubt, and negativity, to face the unknown with a mindset of possibility rather than limitation. It is the understanding that every day, no matter what happened yesterday, you have the power to influence your life, to take meaningful actions, and to move closer to your dreams. Gratitude is the foundation of optimism, resilience, and personal growth, and it is the first step in turning intention into action, potential into achievement, and dreams into reality. By speaking these words to yourself every morning, you set the tone for the entire day, signaling to your mind and your heart that you are ready, you are capable, and you are willing to embrace whatever this day has to offer. I have the power to shape my life. Every morning, when you look in the mirror or feel the first stirrings of consciousness, it is essential to remind yourself of a profound truth. You are not merely drifting through life at the mercy of circumstances, luck, or other people's decisions. You are the architect of your own destiny. The power to shape your life is not a distant ideal. It is a reality that begins with the recognition that every thought, every choice, and every action you take matters. Too often, people fall into the trap of blaming the world for their disappointments, waiting for the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions to begin living the life they desire. But life rarely presents itself in perfect conditions. Waiting for someone else to give you permission or for circumstances to be convenient will only ensure that your dreams remain distant and unfulfilled. The moment you claim the power to shape your life, you step into a place of responsibility, courage, and unwavering control. You no longer allow excuses to dictate your path. Instead, you become intentional, deliberate, and proactive in pursuing the life you deserve. To say, "I have the power to shape my life," is to remind yourself that nothing outside of you has the final say over your outcomes. Your environment may be challenging, your resources may feel limited, and obstacles may appear insurmountable. But all of these are temporary factors, external forces that do not define your potential. It is your response to these challenges that determines whether you rise or remain stagnant. Each choice you make, how you spend your time, how you react to setbacks, how you invest your energy, builds the blueprint of your future. Every small decision compounds over time, and even actions that seem insignificant in the moment can produce extraordinary results when aligned with your goals. Recognizing your own power is both liberating and empowering because it shifts the focus from what is outside your control to what lies within it. It transforms fear into action, doubt into determination, and passivity into relentless pursuit of growth. When you embrace the power to shape your life, you also embrace accountability. This means that you no longer blame others for failures or hardships, nor do you rely solely on luck or external validation. Accountability is the acknowledgement that your choices, habits, and mindset create the results you experience. While this may seem daunting at first, it is also incredibly freeing because it means that no one else can take away your power. Your life is no longer subject to the whims of chance or circumstance. It is guided by your vision, discipline, and perseverance. When challenges arise, instead of feeling victimized, you ask, what can I do differently? How can I learn and adapt? What steps can I take today to move closer to my goals? This mindset transforms every obstacle into an opportunity for growth and innovation, giving you control over what truly matters. Furthermore, understanding that you have the power to shape your life nurtures courage. It allows you to take risks, pursue dreams, and step beyond the familiar into realms where growth occurs. When you internalize this truth, fear no longer paralyzes you, hesitation no longer dictates your actions. You begin to recognize that even failure is temporary, that mistakes are merely adjustments on the path to mastery, and that resilience is a skill you build by taking consistent, intentional action. Every morning, by affirming your personal power, you remind yourself that you are not bound by your past, by others' expectations, or by self-imposed limitations. You are free to create, free to innovate, and free to rise above mediocrity, because your life responds directly to the energy, focus, and intent you bring to it. Believing in your ability to shape your life also inspires hope and purpose. It replaces helplessness with possibility and passivity with action. When you act with the understanding that your decisions matter, you stop waiting for life to happen to you, and instead, you begin to intentionally craft the experiences, relationships, and achievements you desire. Every effort, no matter how small, becomes meaningful because it contributes to the life you are determined to create. This mindset transforms daily routines, mundane tasks, and even setbacks into tools that work in your favor, allowing you to grow, adapt, and move forward with confidence. Finally, embracing this truth fosters a deep sense of empowerment that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. When you recognize that you are the driver of your life, you stop letting fear, doubt, and negativity dictate your actions. You approach each day with purpose, with clarity, and with the unwavering belief that your life is in your hands, and that through discipline, courage, and intentionality, you have the power to turn your dreams into reality. By repeating this affirmation every morning, you train your mind to see possibilities where others see limitations, to act decisively when others hesitate, and to persist relentlessly when others give up. It is the foundation of every success story, the spark that turns vision into reality, and the reminder that you are capable of shaping a life that reflects your highest potential. I am capable of more than I imagine. Every morning it is vital to remind yourself that your potential far exceeds what your mind currently believes. So often, people underestimate what they can achieve, limiting themselves with self-doubt, fear, and hesitation. They look at the challenges ahead and convince themselves they are not ready, not skilled enough, or not deserving of success. Yet the truth is that human potential is almost always greater than perceived limitations. The very act of acknowledging, "I am capable of more than I imagine," opens the door to growth, resilience, and breakthrough. It reminds you that the boundaries you see are often self-imposed, shaped by past experiences, societal expectations, and internalized fears. Every extraordinary achievement in history began with someone daring to believe that their current abilities were just the beginning, that they could stretch, grow, and push beyond what was familiar or comfortable. By embracing this truth each morning, you train your mind to see opportunity instead of restriction, courage instead of fear, and growth instead of stagnation. Believing in your hidden capacity changes how you face challenges. Life will inevitably present obstacles, setbacks, and moments when giving up seems easier than pressing forward. In these moments, reminding yourself that you are capable of more than you imagine becomes the force that propels you past doubt. It transforms fear into a challenge to overcome, uncertainty into a chance to learn, and struggle into a powerful teacher. Every failure, every mistake, every seemingly insurmountable problem becomes a test of your resilience and a confirmation that your capabilities extend beyond what you currently understand. When you accept that your potential is not fixed, every effort you make, every step you take, becomes a meaningful investment in discovering just how far you can go. This mindset fosters persistence, courage, and a refusal to settle for mediocrity, because you understand that what you see today is not all that you are capable of achieving tomorrow. Moreover, understanding your potential encourages continuous growth. It pushes you to seek knowledge, refine skills, and embrace challenges that once felt intimidating. It inspires you to step into situations that demand more of you than you have ever given, to speak when you feel unheard, to lead when leadership feels risky, and to act decisively when hesitation is the safer choice. When you affirm to yourself every morning that you are capable of more than you imagine, you stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it as a catalyst for development. You recognize that every difficult experience, every demanding task, and every ambitious goal is an opportunity to uncover a layer of strength and capability you did not know existed. The realization that your potential is greater than your imagination encourages experimentation, innovation, and courage, because you understand that growth always happens outside the comfort zone. This belief also fosters self-confidence, a sense of courage that permeates every aspect of life. When you truly embrace your capacity to exceed your expectations, you approach challenges with the mindset of possibility rather than limitation. You stop fearing failure and begin to see it as a temporary setback that does not define your ultimate capability. You begin to trust yourself, your judgment, and your ability to adapt, pivot, and overcome difficulties. Every decision becomes informed by the knowledge that your potential is vast, that mistakes do not erase it, and that persistent effort will always unlock new levels of achievement. Importantly, realizing your own capability encourages hope and ambition. It reminds you that no matter how stagnant or trapped you may feel today, there is a world of possibilities available if you dare to act. It allows you to dream bigger, set higher goals, and pursue aspirations that might have previously seemed out of reach. It transforms the narrative from "I cannot" to "how can I?" and inspires a relentless pursuit of excellence, even in the face of uncertainty. By speaking this affirmation each morning, you cultivate a mindset that refuses to settle, that refuses to be defined by limitations, and that consistently challenges itself to reach beyond the horizon of current abilities. Believing in your capability also affects the people around you. When you act from a place of confidence and possibility, your energy becomes infectious, encouraging others to believe in themselves as well. You become a source of inspiration, demonstrating that potential is limitless when courage, effort, and intention align. This self-belief does not only impact personal growth, but creates a ripple effect, influencing your family, colleagues, and community, showing them that exceeding expectations is always possible when you refuse to underestimate yourself. Ultimately, telling yourself every morning that you are capable of more than you imagine is a declaration of empowerment. It is a conscious choice to reject doubt, fear, and limitation, and instead embrace courage, growth, and relentless pursuit of your true potential. It is the mindset that turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement and transforms hesitation into decisive action. By affirming your capability daily, you create a mental framework that allows you to rise higher, act bolder, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible, setting the stage for a life defined not by perceived limits but by limitless opportunity. Mistakes are lessons, not failures. Every morning, it is essential to remind yourself that mistakes are not the end of your journey, nor do they define your worth. Too often, people approach errors with shame, regret, or fear, allowing a single misstep to overshadow their potential and paralyze their progress. Society conditions us to equate mistakes with failure, teaching us that perfection is the standard and that errors are weaknesses to be hidden or avoided. Yet the truth is that mistakes are an inevitable and invaluable part of growth, learning, and ultimate success. They are not signs of inadequacy, but rather indicators that you are pushing boundaries, attempting new things, and challenging yourself to rise above mediocrity. By affirming each morning that mistakes are lessons, not failures, you reframe your perception of errors, transforming them from sources of fear to opportunities for wisdom, resilience, and improvement. This shift in mindset is critical because it frees you to act boldly, take risks, and embrace the unknown without the crushing weight of self-doubt or fear of judgment. Mistakes serve as the feedback mechanism that guides your development. Every time you stumble, miss an opportunity, or fall short of your expectations, you gain invaluable insight into what works, what doesn't, and what you need to change to grow. The lessons embedded in errors are often far more powerful than any success achieved without challenge. Each mistake carries a hidden message. It teaches you patience when you rush, discipline when you waver, humility when you assume, and creativity when conventional approaches fail. The very act of making a mistake demonstrates that you are engaged, trying, and willing to step beyond the familiar, and that willingness is a hallmark of those who eventually succeed. By internalizing the idea that mistakes are lessons, you can confront challenges with curiosity rather than fear, analyze your missteps, extract knowledge, and use it to refine your approach. This mindset transforms every setback into a stepping stone and ensures that your failures propel you forward rather than holding you back. When you accept that mistakes are lessons, you also cultivate resilience. Life will inevitably test you with moments of disappointment, rejection, and unexpected difficulties. The key difference between those who persevere and those who give up lies in how they interpret and respond to these experiences. Seeing mistakes as lessons fosters a mindset of persistence, where each setback becomes a temporary detour rather than a permanent barrier. It teaches you to adapt, to try again with more insight, and to grow stronger through adversity. Every morning, when you remind yourself of this truth, you equip your mind with the emotional fortitude to withstand challenges, recover from disappointment, and continue moving forward with determination and courage. Mistakes no longer carry the power to diminish your confidence or define your trajectory. Instead, they become catalysts for growth, turning every challenge into a training ground for your character and skill. This perspective also encourages a more compassionate relationship with yourself and others. Recognizing that mistakes are lessons fosters patience, empathy, and understanding, both for your own shortcomings and for those of the people around you. It allows you to approach yourself with kindness, rather than harsh self-criticism, understanding that errors are a natural part of the human experience. This self-compassion fuels confidence because you stop fearing imperfection and start embracing the process of learning, experimenting, and evolving. It also improves your interactions with others, as you are more willing to forgive, mentor, and guide, creating an environment where growth is prioritized over judgment and potential is nurtured rather than constrained. Furthermore, embracing mistakes as lessons transforms your approach to risk and ambition. Most people limit themselves out of fear of failure, choosing safety over growth, mediocrity over challenge, and comfort over potential. But when you internalize the understanding that mistakes are simply feedback, Risk becomes an opportunity, failure becomes a teacher, and uncertainty becomes a playground for innovation. You begin to see that the road to success is paved with trials, errors, and course corrections, and that each misstep brings you closer to mastery, wisdom, and achievement. You start acting with courage, knowing that even if the outcome is not perfect, you are gaining experience that no success alone could provide. By telling yourself every morning that mistakes are lessons and not failures, you cultivate a mindset that is fearless, resilient, and hungry for growth. You empower yourself to step into challenges with confidence, to embrace learning over judgment, and to approach every setback as an essential part of your journey toward greatness. This affirmation changes how you act, how you think, and how you rise after every fall, allowing you to transform obstacles into opportunities, errors into insight, and missteps into milestones on the path to personal and professional mastery. I will focus on growth, not comfort. Every morning it is crucial to remind yourself that the path to success, fulfillment, and meaningful achievement is rarely found in comfort, ease, or complacency. Most people are conditioned to seek comfort to avoid discomfort and to prioritize convenience over challenge. They settle for routines that feel safe, jobs that feel predictable, and choices that keep them within the familiar. While comfort may provide a temporary sense of ease, it does not produce growth, strength, or the fulfillment that comes from realizing your true potential. To say to yourself, I will focus on growth, not comfort, is to make a conscious decision to embrace the challenges, difficulties, and uncertainties that are necessary for transformation. It is a recognition that real success, whether in your career, relationships, or personal development, requires effort, courage, and the willingness to step beyond what feels easy or familiar. Comfort, while seductive, is the enemy of progress because it lulls the mind into stagnation, numbs ambition, and suppresses the boldness required to achieve extraordinary results. Focusing on growth rather than comfort requires a shift in mindset that redefines how you perceive challenges and adversity. When you commit to growth, difficulties are no longer threats to avoid. They become opportunities to learn, improve, and refine your abilities. Every obstacle you encounter, every mistake you make, and every uncomfortable situation you face carries with it a lesson, a skill to develop, or insight to gain. By choosing growth over comfort, you begin to see life as a dynamic process of continuous improvement, where each day offers a chance to stretch your capabilities and expand your vision. Growth is not always easy. It is often uncomfortable, demanding, and even painful at times. But the discomfort of growth is temporary, while the rewards, confidence, competence, resilience, and achievement last a lifetime. Each morning, when you remind yourself to prioritize growth, you prepare your mind to endure temporary challenges, knowing that the struggles of today are the foundation of the victories of tomorrow. When you focus on growth, you also cultivate courage. Comfort breeds fear of risk, hesitation, and avoidance of the unknown, whereas growth requires you to step into uncertainty with boldness and faith in your own abilities. It requires taking on tasks that seem beyond your current skill set, speaking up when your voice matters, and pursuing opportunities that may initially feel intimidating. The willingness to act despite discomfort builds character, resilience, and self-confidence. Over time, these qualities compound, allowing you to tackle challenges that once seemed impossible, to innovate when others stick to convention, and to lead with integrity and purpose. Growth is a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities, fears into stepping stones, and ambition into tangible action. Each morning, by affirming your commitment to growth, you set a tone of determination, courage, and unwavering focus that guides your choices and actions throughout the day. Prioritizing growth over comfort also nurtures adaptability and learning. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances change constantly. Those who cling to comfort are often rigid, resistant to change, and ill-prepared for the demands of an evolving world. In contrast, those who embrace growth learn to adapt, to think creatively, and to find solutions where others see only problems. They understand that personal and professional development requires curiosity, reflection, and the willingness to step into discomfort in order to acquire new skills, perspectives, and experiences. Each morning, by reminding yourself to focus on growth, you train your mind to see every experience, even setbacks, criticism, or challenges, as a tool for improvement and self-discovery. You begin to approach life with a mindset of continuous evolution, where no obstacle is permanent, no failure is final, and no comfort zone is sufficient to contain your potential. Focusing on growth rather than comfort also impacts the way you interact with the world around you. It fosters ambition, determination, and a sense of purpose that inspires others. When people witness your commitment to personal development, your willingness to embrace challenges, and your refusal to settle for mediocrity, they are naturally drawn to your energy, motivated by your example, and encouraged to pursue their own growth. Growth is contagious. It creates momentum, fosters innovation, and elevates not only your life but the environment and community in which you operate. Each morning, by prioritizing growth over comfort, you affirm to yourself that life is not meant to be lived passively or safely, but boldly, intentionally, and with relentless pursuit of excellence. By committing to growth every day, you set yourself on a path of continuous transformation. You learn to embrace discomfort as a signal of progress rather than a warning to retreat. You cultivate resilience, courage, adaptability, and vision. You awaken a relentless drive to improve, innovate, and exceed expectations. By speaking this affirmation each morning, you remind yourself that the life you desire is not built on ease or convenience, but on persistent effort, intentional action, and the willingness to embrace every challenge as an opportunity to grow, evolve, and become the person you were always capable of being. I will act with courage, even when I'm afraid. Every morning, it is essential to remind yourself that courage is not the absence of fear, but the conscious choice to act despite it. Life will inevitably place moments of uncertainty, risk, and challenge before you. And in those moments, fear is natural, even necessary, because it signals that you are standing at the edge of growth, opportunity, and change. Too often, people allow fear to dictate their actions, keeping them within the safety of familiarity, preventing them from pursuing their dreams, and limiting their potential. Fear becomes a barrier when it convinces you that inaction is safer than action, that hesitation is protection, and that comfort is preferable to risk. But courage is the bridge that connects where you are now with where you want to be. To tell yourself each morning, I will act with courage, even when I'm afraid, is to make a deliberate decision to refuse paralysis in the face of fear, to step forward with determination, and to embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. It is a recognition that fear is not the enemy. In fact, it is a guide, highlighting the areas where your greatest potential lies and where your actions will matter the most. Acting with courage requires understanding that fear is universal, experienced by everyone at some point, regardless of talent, experience, or status. Courage does not mean you stop feeling afraid. It means you refuse to allow fear to control your decisions or prevent you from taking necessary action. Every significant achievement in life begins with a decision to move forward despite uncertainty, to confront risk instead of avoiding it, and to engage fully with challenges even when the outcome is unknown. By affirming to yourself every morning that you will act with courage, you prepare your mind and your spirit to embrace the difficult choices, the bold initiatives, and the pivotal moments that define your path. Courage transforms hesitation into action, doubt into determination, and limitation into opportunity. It allows you to confront obstacles head on, to take responsibility for your own growth, and to pursue ambitions that may seem daunting but are essential to the fulfillment of your potential. When you act courageously, you also cultivate resilience and confidence. Every time you face fear and take action regardless, you prove to yourself that you are capable, strong, and adaptable. Courage builds momentum because it creates a cycle of trust between your intentions and your actions. The more you act in spite of fear, the more your mind becomes conditioned to see challenges as opportunities, and the more your confidence grows. Each morning, by affirming your commitment to courage, you set the tone for your day, priming yourself to confront adversity with composure, tackle difficult conversations with honesty, and make decisions that align with your vision even when they feel uncomfortable. Acting courageously does not eliminate obstacles, but it ensures that you face them with clarity, purpose, and the unwavering belief that you can overcome them. Courage also shapes your relationships and the way others perceive you. People are inspired by those who act boldly, who stand up for what is right, and who take responsibility even when fear is present. By consistently choosing courage over hesitation, you not only empower yourself but also influence those around you, encouraging them to confront their own fears and pursue their aspirations. Courage is contagious because it demonstrates that action in the face of fear is possible. And that growth, success, and impact require the willingness to step into the unknown. Each morning, when you affirm your commitment to courage, you remind yourself that your actions matter, your voice matters, and your life is defined not by comfort or safety, but by your willingness to confront fear with conviction. Furthermore, courage fuels innovation, creativity, and personal growth. Many of life's most transformative experiences and achievements come from moments when individuals dared to try something new, take risks, or challenge the status quo. Acting courageously allows you to explore uncharted paths, test your limits, and expand your capabilities in ways that comfort and familiarity never could. Fear is a signal that you are on the edge of potential, and courage is the vehicle that allows you to cross into new territory, learning, growing, and achieving along the way. By telling yourself every morning that you will act with courage even when afraid, you train your mind to move forward despite uncertainty, to embrace risk as a pathway to progress, and to recognize that each bold step strengthens your character, sharpens your focus, and brings you closer to the life you desire. Ultimately, choosing courage over fear each day is an act of empowerment. It transforms hesitation into decisive action, fear into motivation, and uncertainty into opportunity. By affirming your commitment to act with courage every morning, you remind yourself that growth, success, and fulfillment are reserved not for the fearless, but for those who face fear with determination, take action despite doubt, and refuse to let hesitation dictate the life they were meant to create. I will be persistent, no matter the obstacles. Every morning, it is vital to remind yourself that persistence is the force that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who surrender to the first sign of difficulty. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments when giving up feels easier than pressing forward. Obstacles will appear at every turn, sometimes expected, sometimes completely unforeseen, but your success is determined not by how few challenges you face, but by your ability to continue moving forward regardless of them. To say, I will be persistent no matter the obstacles, is to commit to a mindset that refuses to yield to discouragement, fatigue, or doubt. Persistence is not simply continuing without thought. It is the deliberate, intentional act of staying focused on your goals, learning from each experience, and maintaining momentum even when progress feels slow or invisible. It is the understanding that every setback is temporary, and that consistent effort over time compounds into results that are far greater than the sum of individual actions. Persistence begins with belief, a belief that your goals are worth fighting for, that your vision is worth pursuing, and that your effort is never wasted. Most people give up because they lose sight of why they started, allowing frustration or impatience to erode their determination. But those who persist understand that every obstacle is a test of commitment, every delay is an opportunity to grow stronger, and every failure is a lesson in resilience. Persistence requires patience, discipline, and a refusal to be defeated by temporary circumstances. Each morning, when you affirm your commitment to persistence, you prepare your mind to withstand challenges with courage, to continue striving when others falter, and to trust the process even when the outcome is uncertain. You create a mental framework that transforms obstacles from roadblocks into stepping stones, teaching you that true success is built on sustained effort rather than instant results. Acting with persistence also cultivates resilience and adaptability. Life rarely follows a straight line. Setbacks, rejections, and disappointments are inevitable. Yet persistence allows you to approach these challenges not as insurmountable walls, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and refine your strategies. Each failure, each moment of difficulty becomes part of a larger pattern of growth, building not only skills and knowledge, but also strength of character. Persistent individuals understand that progress is rarely linear. It comes in bursts, plateaus, and occasional setbacks. The key is to continue moving forward, to keep learning, to adjust your approach, and to never let temporary defeat determine the final outcome. Persistence also fuels hope and inspires action. When you commit to keep going, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world that your dreams are non-negotiable, that your vision is unwavering, and that no obstacle is strong enough to stop you. This mindset transforms challenges into motivation, uncertainty into determination, and frustration into energy that drives you toward your goals. Each morning, affirming your commitment to persistence instills confidence, fortifies discipline, and sharpens focus. You develop the ability to tackle long-term goals with endurance, understanding that consistency and effort ultimately yield results that fleeting bursts of energy cannot achieve. Persistence is contagious, influencing not only your life but the lives of those around you. People are inspired by those who refuse to give up, who continue striving when conditions are unfavorable, and who demonstrate that commitment, discipline, and resilience are the true pathways to success. By being persistent, you encourage others to cultivate their own determination, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond your personal achievements. Your persistence becomes a testament to the power of human will, showing that no matter how difficult the journey, consistent effort combined with faith in oneself produces extraordinary outcomes. In conclusion, telling yourself every morning that you will be persistent, no matter the obstacles, is a declaration of strength, courage, and commitment. It is the conscious choice to refuse defeat, to embrace challenges as opportunities, and to trust that your relentless effort will compound into the results you seek. Life will test you, push you, and sometimes overwhelm you, but persistence ensures that you rise each time, adapt, and continue moving forward. By affirming this truth daily, you cultivate resilience, discipline, and unwavering determination, equipping yourself to overcome every obstacle, surpass every limitation, and achieve the extraordinary life you are capable of creating. Persistence is not just an action. It is a mindset, a habit, and the foundation of every lasting success.